Okay, next I'm going to check the bell housing alignment to see how well the bell housing centers the input shaft of the transmission to the center line of the crankshaft. Now the theory has been proposed to me that one of the reasons why my bearing failed was because the bell housing was out of tolerance. And for these T56 Magnum transmissions, you are allowed up to 5/1000ths of an inch to be off center in one direction. So I'm going to recheck this to see what our tolerances are for this transmission related to this bell housing. So I got the dial indicator set up. I had to fiddle with it a little bit because I have an aluminum flywheel, so it makes it a little difficult to get the magnet onto those bolts just right so that it won't move and is secure. So let's zoom in and get a close look at the dial. And I'm going to rotate this 360 degrees. And so far, what I have found is I'm only out a total of 7/1000ths of an inch full from side to side all the way. So that means I'm only out of tolerance 3.5/1000ths of an inch in one direction. So let's watch this on the video and confirm this. Here we go. Okay, so we went all the way around, and the most it deviated for a total run from one side to the other was 7/1000ths of an inch. And of course you split that distance in half because your tolerance is just how far off you are to one side, not the whole from one side to the other side. So that gives us just a offset of 3.5/1000ths of an inch, which means this bell housing is within tolerance of that 5/1000th inch maximum off center in one direction. So according to the specs, we should be okay to just put this transmission right up into this bell housing without no problems. So the theory that this bearing malfunctioned because of this bell housing being out of tolerance of that 5/1000ths of an inch is not correct. Alright, until the next video, what I'll do next is I'll take the flywheel off and we'll do a same check, but with the dial indicator attached to the flange of the flywheel, and see if we come up with the same numbers. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, here's the dial indicator set up directly onto the crankshaft flange. So let's zoom in and we will see what measurements we get here. For some reason the measurements are the same but slightly different angle. Let's take a look at this and rotate it. Alright, that's a 360-degree turn. You can see we're only a total of 7/1000 of an inch out of round, off center. So that means we're only out of tolerance 3.5 thousandths of an inch, and we're allowed 5 thousandths. So we're well within tolerances using the crankshaft flange as a measuring. Okay, now that the alignment of the bell housing has been checked and completed and shown to be within specifications, the clutch is now installed and ready for the transmission. So as you can see, my bell housing opening here is not symmetrical, and then of course I have this plate here in the way for the clutch fork, so I had to get an adapter plate to check the alignment of the bell housing. And this is a Lakewood bell housing adapter plate that you can get, I guess, with this bell housing. It wasn't available when I bought this 9 years ago, but it's available now. And at that time, 9 years ago, I just used the front plate of the transmission and bolted that to the back of the bell housing, and then used the hole that the input shaft goes through as the center line reference point, and use that to check the alignment of the bell housing. But doing it this way is definitely easier, and it just confirmed that this bell housing is aligned properly for the T56 transmission. So the next step now is to start putting this transmission together. But before I do that, I'm going to have to check the end play of the main shaft, since it's a new main shaft, and that will be the next step, and then I'll start assembling the transmission. And I won't bore you with the details on that. There are plenty of videos on YouTube to show how to check end play and how to put this transmission together. I may show some areas that might give some people trouble, or gave me some trouble, to look out for. But that will be the next video, if there is any, on how to assemble this transmission. So until that time, have a great day.